Hello and welcome to June's Patreon episode. I'm your host, Aiden Frost Rockarts, and joining me this month is Colton Blue Basket Sweat.
Hey, Aiden, how's it going?
Pretty good. And Nick the King Cooper. I forgot your name for a second.
Hello.
Hello.
So for this month, I thought, what brings everyone in the League of Legends community together? Arguing about shit.
Arguing.
So, and I also wanted to kind of like say that like we all like debating stuff, and I think the fun of debating stuff is like kind of figuring out what the strength of arguments are. So I had this idea where we're going to debate probably 7 or so topics, but the things that we're debating for are going to be randomly chosen by a random number generator. So I think we'll just hop right into it and you'll kind of see how it goes. I'm kind of excited though. So the first one is going to be, what is the best rework in League of Legends?
Ooh.
So for this one, I have Swain, Nick, you have Mordekaiser, and Colton, you have Volibear.
Interesting. Okay.
So I have to argue that Volibear is the best.
Yeah.
rework in
You
League
think
of
that
Legends.
Volibear is the best rework, of course.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, it's not really a question. So I think we can probably just go on to the next one because clearly Volibear is the best.
So I honestly do think Swain's like a pretty strong contender for this, though. I think mainly because his ult kit was one of the worst in the entire fucking game. Like the fucking mana toggle ult thing, fucking dog shit. Putting the random bird on the ground to zap people was fucking awful. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what his ult. It was Q with the ult. No, his Q was just literally
it was
the
like
dot
the
that you
laser thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's actually so shit, man. New
But
Swain
his
is...
old ult was kind of sick.
No. It's bad, Colton.
No, I used to like Swain is 100% the character that I've gotten the most quadra kills on.
Yeah, because you just sit in your fucking alt form forever. Well, now with the new Swain, you can sit in your alt form forever as well. So it's like the old Swain's back, but better.
Then it doesn't even cost mana.
But I really do think Swain is like thematically one of the coolest reworks they've done in the entire game, and then kit wise, I just think his old kit was so dog shit that the new one can only be better.
Yeah, but they took away his sick, make all damage, do more damage parrot move.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing against it. Now I'm gonna tell you why Volibear is actually the best rework in League of Legends history. Well, one, can you tell me what a single one of his abilities used to do?
His ult was he got a chained lightning, right? Is that it?
Yeah, his Q was a flip, his W was the bite, his E was the E was the roar that also kind of interrupted knockup sometimes. Minions. And then the ulti was the lightning.
Now old Volibear is sick, he's flip, dude.
No. New Volibear is sick because he has better flip. Or better, he's stunned now.
It's not a flip,
but you can actually hit it. And he gets to call down lightning and turn off towers. He actually like embodies the demigod that he is, and I feel like old Volibear never felt nearly as powerful as he's supposed to. Mm-hmm. Like when you ulti in as Volibear and you're ahead, you actually feel like, oh, I'm this like demigod colossus that's just gonna run at you, and your options are run away or die.
Yeah.
Whereas old Volibear was just like, I guess I'm gonna toss you towards my team and then press my E that fears minions only. like he was a fucking demigod of the Freljord, but his roar wasn't enough to scare other characters. Yeah. It was only enough to scare fucking neutral mobs. And his passive, if you get low, big regen. That's
oh god,
so
I did
bad.
forget about his passive.
It was so bad.
Okay, Volibear is pretty good. I mean, why don't you tell us about Mordekaiser a little bit?
Obviously Mordekaiser is the right answer. The character of the ones here is the only one to have undergone 2 reworks. So that's twice the potential to be impressed by it. The first one.
Can you roll the generator again? I want to argue Rise.
True. The first one dynamically just it changed how bot lane worked fundamentally. It's the reason you hit Masters for the first time. Definitely what kept his iconic abilities while also shifting it up a little bit. But I think his most recent one was even better. He turned into like literally the walking definition of Juggernaut. When you think Juggernaut, it's 100% just Mordekaiser. I mean, his ulti is probably the coolest ulti like thematically in the game. You just kidnap someone to the death realm and just beat the shit out of them in a 1v1. Like, what more could you possibly ask for? Plus, I think he has the coolest skins of the 3 easily. So
Yeah,
Hell
but
yeah.
you see, the problem with Mordekaiser is that
Is that there is
he
no
tries
problem.
to
I
be-
agree, Colton.
No. He tries to pull you into the death realm, but then it's just the Rorschach meme where it's like, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me, and you just murder his goddamn head off because he's still easy to kite.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
anyways-
why you pop Ghost Rileys.
I think the way we're
I
gonna
don't
do this
know.
is we're gonna have our community vote on who's correct for all these. By the way, not based on their opinion, but like for like who made the best argument. So if you guys want to let us know who argued the best for that one, please do. But we're gonna move on to our second one, which I think is like where it starts to get a little spicy. This question is: what rank does a League of Legends player become good? I got bronze. Colton got diamond, and Nick, you got master / grandmaster.
Oh, easy.
So what is good? That is the question, right? Once you escape iron, you've already learned the fundamentals of the game, right? You've Dude, there's no fucking way.
Do you, okay?
Well,
can we,
what is good?
Can we bump up Aiden's to how about gold?
No.
Because otherwise it's just like it's just done.
No.
Okay,
but,
what?
like,
Okay, I'll do it. I'll swap him. I'll take bronze. Aiden, you can
yeah, you
have
go for
diamond.
bronze then. Sure.
Okay.
All right.
This will be
so
good.
what is good, right? It's the opposite of bad. And if we want to define bad, just look to iron. So if you're not bad anymore, therefore you are good. Therefore, bronze makes you a good player. I think Aiden was on the right track where it's like, I think getting out of iron into bronze is like, you've got enough of the fundamentals down that like you're actually playing League of Legends now. You might not be a god tier player, but you're actually playing the game instead of like kids in preschool who have the chessboard set up but are playing checkers with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're actually playing the game now in bronze. So I think that's where like you get good, so to say.
But what is good if it not diamond? The rank that all of our hosts have been forever, and we are kind of the premier podcast in League of Legends, right? I feel like
No,
diamond
yeah,
is the
but
rank
you've
that
seen D4 players. Are you really going to try and argue this right now, Aiden?
Diamond's the rank that like all of our listeners look up to, right? They'll go like, "Oh, one day I want to be diamond," because diamond's where the good players are, right? And it's like one of those things where it's like
Our
such a far
listeners are all
stretch.
challengers.
It's such a far stretch from like master, grandmaster, challenger that I feel like diamond's kind of like what everyone shoots for is like their goal. I mean, when I was like climbing the ranks, I was always like, "Fuck, one day I want to be diamond," and then I hit it 6, 7, 8 years ago, and I've been hard stuck there since.
But what could be more exciting than getting to say I'm 200 LP? It has to be Master Grandmaster. I mean, that is the starting criteria to become an amateur player, professional player in most cases. It's not Master Tier lol balls. It's D2 lol balls, right? Hard stuck D2. That's where the meme's at. It's not. I mean, it's not Master Grandmaster. I mean, that's the start of being good. I rest my case, Your Honor.
I think it's a good argument. I think fucking there's no way you can argue bronze. It's like the reality.
No. I argued it, and I'm right, and the community will back me up because more of our listeners are bronze than our master tier.
And I'm sure they all agree that they're like pinnacle League of
They're all
Legends.
good players.
Yeah.
Aiden, are you saying that our listeners aren't good players?
Yep, most of them.
Oh, that's so fucked up. Guys, make sure to vote me as the winner of this section so that we can prove Nick wrong.
Okay, next is what is the best pro League of Legends region? I got LCS, Colton, you got LPL, and Nick, you got LCK.
Ooh.
So I think LCS is probably the best like pro region in League of Legends. I think the biggest thing is that like League of Legends esports is like an entertainment product, and I mean, it's the only reason that I actually care about the players. I care about who goes to each team. I care about the fucking behind the scenes. I'll watch the TSM documentaries, the CLG documentaries, the Team Liquid documentaries. No other region actually contains my enjoyment of a product as much as I almost said LCK, as much as LCS. Especially if you go back like a couple of years when like they had the biggest names in all of the regions. Fuck, man, I want to follow Doublet wherever he goes. I hope he comes back to LCS because LCS is an entertainment product and they do it better than any other fucking region around.
I mean, it has to be LCK, right? We're talking about the juggernauts of competitive league. It has always been LCK. We're talking about Faker. We're talking about T1, the team with the most championships of any team. Probably matches any other region just by themselves. Absolutely insane. I mean, there's a reason everyone's going to Korean solo queue, boot camping with Koreans. LCK is where it's at. It's the highest quality and highest tier of League of Legends that there could possibly be, and could possibly ever be.
I think that you're clearly forgetting the LPL, which is vastly superior region. I mean, one, you've got the largest player base, audience, viewership numbers of any region by a crazy margin. You've got the most support and infrastructure of the esports teams, and that's why all of the LCK players go to China.
Or is it or do they go to LPL because they're washed and want a fat paycheck?
No. They go there because they are getting paid the most to be the best players, to produce the best teams that win worlds sometimes.
I see. That's why Faker's still in LCK then.
Well, I think the issue with Faker is that he's actually a robot that Riot Games developed, and he's not a real person.
Oh, controversial.
Yeah, no, I mean, clearly the correct answer is LCK.
But do either of you guys watch LPL or LCK? Nick, how much LCK do you watch this season?
I've not watched much LCK, but I've watched some LPL. I like watching Dom's co-streams.
What region have you watched the most of? I guess is the
region I've watched the most of is CLG.
The Faith region.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched. I mean, this season probably still LCK, because I watched the LCK finals, and I don't watch NA finals because the best team in NA goes to an international event and gets 7th.
Hey,
True.
They're gonna win worlds this year, though.
When CLG does,
the only major region to have 0 world championships, LCS, North America.
Yeah, I guess we don't have a single. Well, we have some IPLs. We have IPLs, right?
Maybe
we have an IPL. I guess we have TSM's IPL. I think it's
wow.
But anyways, the next one is, what is the best other Riot game? I got Legends of Runeterra. Colton, you got Valorant, and Nick, you got Wild Rift.
Nice. It's just
Legends of Runeterra is fucking actually perfect, by the way. It's one of the fucking best games they've made. The PvP is great. The PvE is actually god. I feel like anyone who plays PvE in Legends of Runeterra, it's the fucking best what do you call it, digital trading card game right now on the market. It's fucking just free to get into. You can have a countless fun. Even if you want to play PvP, you don't have to spend a fucking dime to get into this game. It's just the easiest game to get into. They are shifting more to PvP, which I think is potentially a good thing, because I think the PvP is a little bit dry in the game. So if they make that better, it's going to be an all-around perfect game.
I mean, it has to
it's
be
still a card game, so it's for nerds.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be Wild Rift. You know, it's not for nerds. Phones. Everyone's got a phone. Right?
You guys don't have phones?
Yeah. Tell us more.
It's just League of Legends, but better. The matches are shorter. You get to do it from the comfort of your couch. You don't have to sit at an uncomfortable desk with a mouse and keyboard. You actually get new models and system updates all the time, as opposed to having to wait for the cucks at Riot Games to create it for League of Legends in the
Star Guardian Seraphine.
Exactly, Star Guardian Seraphine. Kassadin has actual body armor, not just blue skin with abs. So that's pretty sick. I mean, it's the premier MOBA on your phone, and that's a big market.
Hell yeah.
When was a bigger market? FPS games.
I don't think that's true.
There's so many sick characters, crazy abilities. You get to purchase guns. How many times have you purchased a gun in Wild Rift or in Legends of Runeterra? I'll tell you, 0. You want to know what Valorant has that no other Riot Games product
$50
has?
skins.
Built-in voice chat.
And you're saying that's a plus.
Yes, that's a positive.
Okay.
You get to flame people, and you get to hear their response, and then call them a little squeaker because they're a 12-year-old kid, and you say, "Go tell your mom what I said," because I don't know.
If you're a woman or a child, you can get bullied off the game.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to know what else Valorant has that like League of Legends and Wild Rift doesn't have? A bunch of cool maps. Like
Yeah.
regular League, Wild Rift, what you got the main Rift, and then like ARAM, and then maybe every few months you'll get access to a different one for a week. There's like over a dozen maps in Valorant,
And they all suck.
You get so much more strategy combining all of the characters' abilities, the different guns, and the movement. It's going to be a competitive powerhouse that's going to just take over the FPS market, and that's why it's the best Riot game.
I will say no campers in either of our games.
Have you played either of the other games?
Haven't played Wild Rift or
Runeterra? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. There's campers in both of those games.
Incorrect.
No, that's true.
Cool. Next is, what is the best League of Legends game mode? And I got Snowdown Showdown. Colton, you got Howling Abyss ARAM. And Nick, you got Overcharge. Which you definitely remember what Overcharge is. You know Overcharge, right?
Overcharge.
Yeah, Nick, tell us.
Tell us what
Tell us why
Overcharge, man.
Overcharge is the best.
Hang on, I'm reading about what it is.
It was so good that he wiped it from his memory so that he could experience it again for the first time.
I legitimately don't remember this, but it's obviously the best game mode because you get to play as the best class marksman. And I mean, marksmen complain about the weakness of their class all the time. People complain about marksmen complaining, but what's better than just having just 3v3 marksman action? It's quick, it's a fast, fun game mode. You're definitely not killing robot scuttle crabs. The wiki said. I mean, I remember. You can overcharge.
It was actually a really fun game mode, but like the one issue with it, Nick, guess what the best fucking marksman in that is? Graves.
It's Graves because you get armor. Yeah. Fun.
Yeah. I feel like most of our listeners didn't play when Snowdown Showdown was around, but it was the fucking best game mode to flex your muscles. Queue up for 25 minutes to get put in a 1v1 or a 2v2 and fucking flex your muscles and just dominate people. Honestly, it's like the only 1v1, 2v2 mode that Riot has ever added in League of Legends. They never put in Magma Chamber. Snowdown Showdown was the closest thing we got, and oh boy, it really fucking scratched those itches of the competitive 1v1 and 2v2 modes. I think we played a lot, Nick, when it first came out the first time back in like 2015 or whatever. Outside of the queue times, though, the game mode's fucking brilliant. I would love something like this back in the game. I just think that 1v1 and 2v2, although they aren't League of Legends, they are a skill that should be showcased. And this is the only game mode that we've ever had that has allowed us to do so. And I feel like it's just actually something that could just be in the game as a regular game mode because it's so fucking good.
Now you get to see 1v1 and 2v2s every single game on regular Summoner's Rift.
True.
Every lane. You get 2 1v1s and a 2v2 every game. There's no need for Snowdown Showdown. What there is a need for is Howling Abyss ARAM, the classic, the original, one of the first custom game modes, and the only one that Riot said, you know what, this is so good, we need to permanently put this in the game. We need to make this accessible all the time because it's the most fun, it's the best. We're even going to make balance changes for ARAM. How many times in patch notes have you seen them say, oh, we're balancing for Snowdown Showdown? Oh, we're balancing for Overcharge. Nah, never happens. Why? Because those game modes suck. Nobody wants to play them. Everyone just wants to play ARAM. You get snowballs. You get to feed Poros the little snacks and make them explode. What could be better than queuing up with some buds, having a few bevies, and absolutely trashing silver players in a for fun game mode and then saying easy in all chat? It's ARAM. You can't convince me otherwise. And if you want to argue against it, think back to that ARAM tournament where we got to do the super fun thing of buying 5 banner of commands so the enemy AP team just didn't get to play the game. You can't do that shit on anywhere else. It's got to be ARAM.
ARAM's pretty sick.
ARAM's pretty sick.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We're on to our second last one. Then we can like just quickly go back through and like just quickly briefly talk about what we actually think is like our favorite after debates. So this one is, what is the best recent released champion? I have Rel, Colton, you have Akshan, and Nick, you have Viego.
Okay.
Well, Akshan's the coolest because he gets to revive his teammates, and he's got a sick grappling hook. Like, that's literally every video game made after, like, 2003. People are just like, come on, more grappling hooks. I want to be able to use grappling hooks on stuff. Riot Games, they said, we got you. Hear you loud and clear. Boom, grappling hook. You get to spin around stuff. You get to shoot people's goddamn heads off. You get the sick ultimate where you charge it up and you go, brap, brap. And then you just die, and when you kill them, your teammates come back and they're like, oh, thank you so much, Akshan. You're such a great teammate. I really appreciate how you revive me like that. Like, you just don't get that anywhere else. When I revive people as Zillion, they say, fuck you, stupid Clockman. Why don't you play Akshan? He's way cooler. So that's why Akshan's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to go, Aiden, or do you want me to?
I'll go, yeah. Rel fucking blows. No, but I do think no, but like honestly though, I think Rel's like fine. I think that she's kind of like a more modernized Leona, which is like a really good thing for the game. She's really cool in pro play. I personally am not the biggest fan of her in solo queue, but in pro play she's she's super fun to watch. I think low damage but like high utility characters kind of excel in a pro environment, and she's like one of those characters who kind of just can take over games in like a way more subtle way rather than like super high damage burst combos. I'd much rather see like combo like support in the game than high damage characters. That's kind of all I have to say for the character. I think she's just shines way more in pro play. She's definitely one of the best pro play additions to the game in recent times.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
But does she have a boomerang move? Does she have a boomerang
No,
move?
she does not have a boomerang move.
It's just,
well, it seems pretty useless to me. Nick, your character, do they have a boomerang move?
if he kills Action, yeah, actually does. Oh, and
Does
if he
he-
kills Sever, he does. That's
And Nar.
Oh, and Nar. That sounds like more boomerangs than Action has.
Okay, boomerang.
Actually, that's crazy. Imagine a character who can just turn into any character that you want. A character who has literally had an item in the game since very early seasons, who has had the very first non-Riot League of Legends game ever made. The character who had an insane event all about him, the quality of which was absolutely unparalleled, I would say. It's
Oh yeah, the Viego event was really
unparalleled.
good.
It was absolutely
Unpar-
insane.
unparalleled, I would
the
say,
champion
is
is
good,
a
yeah.
staple in professional League of Legends, and we've seen some of the sickest plays of all time on this character. And I think if you truly tune into any competitive league, you'll see that Viego's the superior choice.
Hell yeah. Cool. Want to move on to our last question before we do a quick little like run through after?
Yeah.
This is who is the best at League of Legends? Aiden, Nick, or Colton? Let me roll it. I got Colton. Colton, you got Nick. Nick, you got me.
Okay. This is fun.
So wait, I need to. You can go ahead. Go ahead. Tell everyone why I'm the best.
So Colton, although he might not consistently be the highest ELO out of the three of us, he's the only one who plays all 5 roles at the same level of play. Colton is someone who can like bounce between all 5 roles, all 160 characters in the game, and play them all at a D4 level. No, but like without like the joking flame, I actually think Colton is like the only one out of the 3 of us who actually can play all 5 roles at like a mid diamond level. If he's playing picks that he's more comfortable with at like a mid to high diamondish level, especially on like the roles he's slightly better at, which I think is something that like kind of defines how good someone is at League of Legends. Like as much as like I'm the highest ranked and I one trick and one roll a lane, I think it's completely different to be able to play fucking 5 roles like autofill and fucking still be able to be his similar ELO. That's why I think Colton is like the best out of the 3 of us at League of Legends.
Yeah, no, you're right. No arguments here.
Aiden,
Nick, we good to wrap up this
that's
show?
very kind of you, but you are clearly the best at League of Legends. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see that the highest ranked player consistently is the best League of Legends player. I mean, your character has gone through waves of being disgustingly broken and pretty unplayable, and you still have managed to be the highest ranked out of all of us, and on not only I think one account, but multiple accounts. So I think it would be foolish to think any other argument would beat this one.
A little foolish, a little ghoulish.
A little foolish, a smidge ghoulish.
Nick, you're selling yourself short because clearly you're the best League of Legends player amongst us. There's an achievement that you have that Aiden and I will never come anywhere near. Ooh. You hit Diamond without using Quick Cast. And if you can do that, you're built different. You were.
I thought you were gonna say the Ascension thing. The Ascension fucking like getting perfect.
Oh, the perfect Ascension. Yeah, crazy.
No. Nick is actually built different. He hit Diamond for multiple years playing without Quick Cast, being like a fucking Lucian main. Guy's actually cracked. And higher ranked than me, definitely a better player. Not a stupid one trick like Aiden who abuses Tom Kench. Nick's an all-around good player, right? He can play AD carry. He can play support. When we play Clash, he can lose top lane. It's
true. Hey, wait a minute.
Hell yeah. Yeah, let's just quickly go back through them, like just like a quick little like 1 minute on each of them, just to, like to discuss like who we actually think like might be the best for these. So first one was best rework. So like out of any like the reworks that were like in the last couple of years, what do you guys actually think the best rework is? Like just you doesn't have to go into a definition, but more just like a.
I think it's Sion. I think they kept his identity of like this big beefy, Noxian guy who just fucks everything up and then dies, and just made him playable.
Yeah. Mine would probably be Gangplank for that. I just think the full barrel mechanic is so much fucking cooler than the just shooting someone in the mouth like all the time as like your only ability. So
yeah, barrels are super cool. I mean, it's tough because I think that like all of the reworks for the most part have been super good, and I would say that like the quality of reworks generally I find is better than that of like new champions. Like I like a lot of reworks way more than I do new champions. I think you guys pointed out really good ones. I'm a big fan of Swain just because I play a lot of Swain, and particularly the current iteration of him where like they did the like 1.5 rework where now his pull is different and his ultimate gets to go forever. Like, God, it feels so good to be a Swain with Conqueror and like fully proc it and just wade through a team for 30 seconds. It's so fun.
Cool. Next one was what rank does a League player become good? For me, I would honestly, mine would probably be gold would be what I would actually say. And if it wasn't gold, then I'd probably say like master, grandmaster. I just feel like gold, like being like that 50%, that's where you get your rewards, is like a good place to say like, hey, I'm better than the average League of Legends player. And I feel like that's like a cool achievement where you can kind of say that you're good.
I would agree. I think gold is where I would place that.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think gold is really the tipping point. I mean, I think that there's a lot of like sub distinctions because good at League is such a broad thing to talk about, which is why so many people will have the differing opinions of like, you're only good if you're diamond, you're only good if you're masters, you're only good if you're top 25. Like, I think generally I'd rather put that very broadly, like, yeah, you're good at the game if you're gold, but being good at the game, like, again, you're not great, you're not a legend, you're good. Like you're pretty solid player, you're better than most.
Yeah. Next was game mode. If we exclude like Summoner's Rift, Twisted Tree Line, ARM, because I feel like it's pretty hard to say that Summoner's Rift isn't the best game. Personally, I would say, honestly, the Odyssey like PvE mode is probably the most fun I've had playing like a game mode in League when we like just were grinding it, trying to like get all the different things. I think that was probably the most fun. I really hope they release a new PvE mode with Star Guardians like this next patch. But PvE in League of Legends is actually such a fucking brilliant idea that it hasn't been touched enough.
Okay.
It's got to be Nexus Blitz. Is that
Nick
Right.
loves Nexus Blitz.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
For me, it's also Nexus Blitz. I'm in there with you.
Like it just condenses like all of the good things about League and like shortens a lot of the bad stuff where you're like you start at level 3, you don't have to spend the first 4 minutes without your abilities. You like get to have items and team fights and like they're fun mini games. You don't have to take it super seriously. Like you're not stressed out. And it's also just it's got one of the I think the only like mechanic in League where like people get like you get to pause and spectate and watch like the 2v2s.
Yeah.
The little arena.
Like that's so fucking good. It's like super fun. It's really great when you're with friends. And it's like it's the most hilarious thing when it's like the first 2v2 happens, the second 2v2 happens. You realize the final 1v1 is going to be like Soraka versus Mordekaiser, and everyone's just like, it's like, oh no, poor Soraka.
Yeah. Cool. Next one was best pro region. I feel like this one's pretty quick. I think we pretty well all agree that like LPL is probably the strongest region. LCK is probably the most fun to watch, like overall.
Yeah, I think like if we're talking all time, I think it's hard to argue against LCK. If we're talking right now, it's probably LPL.
Yeah. It's just really good quality.
It's always like right on that border, but I think LCK has more of a history and has, I think, a lot more like team-based storylines where it's like great. LPL's good because they've got so many players and so much money that they can like win championships, but maybe it's just because I'm not a huge LPL fan, but it's like I don't know. Right? Faker's been with T1 for his entire career. Like you don't see that elsewhere in like those long term like T1 versus like Samsung for the longest time. Like those long term rivalries. Whereas like LPL is just like cool. We're gonna buy the best team to win the championship.
Yeah, it does feel that way
I think
sometimes.
so too. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Second last one is what's the best most recent champion release? For that, like I honestly
Who
really
all
like
was in
most.
the pool?
The pool was from the oldest one was Samira, and then the newest one obviously is Nyla or Neela is their name, I guess. So it's like that whole like lineup. Personally, I think like there's very few weak new characters. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Bel'Veth mechanically, but I love her fucking design. I think Rel's probably the only one that I actually fucking dislike out of them, just because I think she's not really interesting and not really fun to play. But probably my favorite is probably either Zeri, Samira, or Seraphine, I think.
Okay.
I think any character released after season 6 is bad. They all suck.
Yeah.
You do feel that way. I think it's got to be either Viego or Samira. I mean, I personally just really enjoy Samira. I think her playstyle is really fun. But like Viego just is such a cool idea for a character. You get a kill and then you become that character. Like it's just, and we've seen so many sick plays. It's it's honestly so cool.
He's fucking awesome.
I would like to say Viego, but like I feel like my biggest issue is that like he is so cool, but he's also just like so broken where it feels almost like cheated, where like when you see those plays you're like, man, I wish that this was because the person played it well and not because the character is just that cracked.
Yeah, the theory of Viego is even cooler than like the practice, right? Like in theory, you could have a fucking whiteboard of the characters that you should kill in order to get the best way to kill the next character. You know what I mean? But most of the time, it's just you kill whoever's on your screen, you take them, and immediately kill the other person.
Yeah, I do think like he's been tainted a little bit by his strength. I think he's fine right now, actually. But I could understand that being frustrating.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking through like all the other new champions though, and I think it's probably still him. Like, I really like the like theme and concept of Renata, but I don't think she's as cool in game. Whereas like Viego is just, he gets to go crazy.
He's fucking sick. One of the best characters they've released in a while.
Agreed.
Cool. Last but not least is who's the best at League? I actually feel like we're all like there's arguments for all of us is like the reality. Like I like as much as we like to fucking meme Colton for like being the lowest elo. I do think there is some merit to like him actually being able to play fucking 5 roles.
No,
right?
there's a ton, like absolutely a ton of merit. I definitely can't just hit autofill and play any role to to win a game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I also feel like Colton has this like disgustingly weird ability to pick up a character and pop off immediately every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
I don't know how like that works, because I feel like my first game on a character is like probably my best until my like 60th game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the first time I played Viego, I probably did better than I did like the next 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the case for so many.
That's funny.
I don't know why. I think like Aiden is definitely the best at solo queue. And I think he plays the game a lot smarter than I do, for sure. Like I am someone who will just like bash my head at the game and like play 1,000 games of solo queue, as opposed to just like thinking about the game, playing smart, and like just winning games of solo queue.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and like I think that there's a lot of different, I guess, like aspects that like different ones of us are better or worse at. Right, where like I think you guys both have better macro than me. I think I generally am probably the best like micro, depending on the character and like how shit I am that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like my play is so variable, but I think like my top end probably tops out higher, but I'm so inconsistent. I don't know. It's a really tough question.
It is tough.
Yeah. Either way, that was fun. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Be sure to let us know who you think actually like won the debates, the little micro debates that we had. Also, let us know what you think are like the choices for any of those. I would love to hear your arguments for like what you think is the best region, or what you think is the best new character recently released. Be sure to tune in next month. I think Colton is hosting. I'm sure it will be very fun.
It's gonna be not fun.
Hell yeah.
Explicitly not fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.